next recipe we're doing for Cook for the Family is Bullocky stew. Now Bullocky means beef. It's an Aboriginal term right through the Northern Territory. Everyone says Bullocky. Now this is a pretty well straightforward stew. We need some onions, some nice celery, carrots, potatoes, pumpkin, and you can use some peas in this dish as well. Our meat is already diced in nice even pieces. This is so that it cooks the same all the way through. What we're going to do is seal the meat off first. We're going to do it in a one pot situation. So we go to our electric frying pan, preheat it, 1/4 cup of oil in there, keep it on number 10, swirl the oil around and bring it up to heat. Make sure your meat's nice and dry, there's no blood, no moisture on it, because if it's wet, it hits the hot oil, it'll splatter all over you. You can hear that nice sizzle. You keep turning the meat around. If you've got a whole lot of meat, the best way is to seal it all off first, take the meat out, and then start with your onions and vegetables and put your meat back in. But since this is a small amount, I'm going to do it all in one. So I'm adding a little bit more at a time to it and just getting that seal off. What you're doing is sealing off the flavours inside the beef itself, also sealing off the blood. Now this method of cookery is stewing, so it's a slow method. Okay, the beef is nicely sealed, nicely coloured. Now we can put the onions in. Garlic, nice spoon of garlic. And if you want, you can use some herbs. I like lemon thyme and a few bay leaves. If they're not available at the store, you don't have to bother about it. But generally you can get them in little containers. Some carrots can go in. Now notice the carrots this time and the celery are big pieces. The reason for that is it's going to cook a long time. If you cut them up too small, they cook too quick and they go to mush. So you mix the vegetables through and some tomato paste for flavour, a good spoon or two. That'll give the beef a nice reddish brown colour at the end when we're finishing it. Make sure it's mixed well and also put a little bit of salt in there to start with the cooking and pepper. Starting to look nice. All we need to do now is put some liquid in. The liquid amount that you use is just to cover. And as per normal, put the lid on there to bring it up to heat. Once it comes up to the boiling, we simmer it down for at least half an hour or so. Then we'll add the potatoes and pumpkin in. The stew's been simmering for the last half hour. It's cooking nicely. The liquid is reducing slowly. Now if the liquid goes down too far, always add some more liquid to it. We're going to put the potatoes in and the pumpkin. Thanks, Richard. Because the meat's cut smaller, it'll take less time to cook. So we mix the potatoes through. Okay, we put the lid back on and we're going to cook it for another half an hour and then we should be able to thicken it and bon appetit, we're going to eat it. Okay, the stew's been going for another half an hour. Now it's test time. Beautiful. Just needs a little bit more salt. Okay, we keep stirring in the peas. If you've got a packet of frozen veg, you can add that in at this stage. It only takes a few seconds to cook.
Start making that gravy now, eh?
Yeah, make the gravy. Don't forget to use cold water when you're mixing that gravy.
How's this looking, Steve?
Beautiful. We're ready to go.
Well, mate.
Thanks, Richard. Turn the stew up a little bit. Run the gravy mix over the top. And just gently spoon it through. Now you notice straight away it starts to become thick, but you've got that beautiful, rich, brown colour in there, and that's what you want. This can be served up on its own with the potatoes, or you can have a bit of rice. 20-minute preparation, but it takes an hour and a half to cook.
Yep. Time for a taste.
You like that?
Lovely.
Okay, there you have it. A nice family dish again. Bullocky stew. And if you want, use kangaroo. It's fine.
You can bake it or fry it, never know till you try it. You can even cook it up in a stew. Just roll them in flour and fry them on the stove, or chuck them in the fire and cook them on the coals. Serve with rice and a panic and a tea, some chips and salad, anyway will do.